All right, welcome back to the Houndsman XP podcast channel, and we are going to do some mods to an old favorite. We're going to upgrade some features on a Marlin 336 chambered in 30-30. Stay tuned, folks. We're going to do it all right here. We're looking at an American icon right here. It's the 30-30, and everywhere I go, it's like when I first started bear hunting, I would ask, hey, what kind of gun should I bring? And I'd tell them I had a lever action 30-30, and they say that's what you need. So to give you an update here, what we're looking at, this is an older model Marlin 336 that is before the merger with Ruger. And so it's an older rifle, but we're going to do some mods, because what you'll find is that with age, besides these dazzling good looks that I've got going with them, you also lose your eyesight. So I'm having trouble seeing the rear sight and being able to get the front sight focused. So what we're going to do is we're going to drift this front sight out, and we're going to replace that with a rear peep sight. We're also going to take this lever off, which is extremely small on the factory guns, and we're going to replace the lever on this rifle with an oversized loop. So what we went with was the Ranger Point Precision cloverleaf peep sight for the rear. It's got some fiber optics in it. We'll get some close-ups of that here in a few minutes. But we're going to take this. The nice thing about this rifle, it was already tapped and drilled and tapped, top of the receiver at the factory, and we've already looked at it, and these holes lined up perfectly. So we're going to mount that on this rifle. And then we also went with the Ranger Point Precision oversized loop. You can tell by looking at the loop here, it's just a little bit bigger than the factory loop. Hold them up here for some comparison. You can see that the factory loop is narrow, and what happens there in cold weather, gloves, even without gloves, if you've got big hands, this thing restricts that. So we're going to put a little bigger loop on this thing, dress it up a little bit. We're going to bring you along for the whole ride. All right, so here we are. We're up here at Joe the Neighbor's barbershop, bourbon emporium, and gunsmith shop. We do it all up here. And there's also a gourmet cooking station outside there that we cook up some grub on. So Joe, we're gonna work on this rifle today. What I found is I'm getting older, and I've known other shooters when I was shooting flintlocks and stuff. I always wondered why everybody went to shotgun shooting and got away from the rifle shooting when they got to be 50 years old. And now I'm understanding why.
That's being generous. I switched mine at 40.
Yeah. I fought it for a long time. I didn't need glasses until, cheaters, until I hit about 50. And then once it did, man, it just went, just nosedived, and I can't do anything without them now. But I'm not as bad as what like my parents were and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But classic rifle here. It's an older model Marlin 336. It's chambered in 30-30. I've always heard that there probably haven't ever been as many deer hit the ground in North America with any other caliber than a 30-30. I don't know if that still holds true or not, but I mean, you look at the old time Remington and Winchester and Federal ammo and stuff, and the old timers were always carrying the lever actions, and you could go with. What are some? Let me just ask you, because you're a certified armorer with the police department. And you do this gunsmithing stuff all the time, and what are some options that we could go with on top of this rifle right here?
Well, being the old timer you are, you always got your ghost ring aperture here with the peep sight. You can go anywhere.
Ironside alumni, baby.
Yeah.
We didn't have optics when I qualified in the Marine Corps.
But I mean, this thing's already drilled and tapped, so your options are unlimited. I mean, you can go optic, you can go dot, you can go laser, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But to stick to the roots, we'll press that out of there, slap that on there, plug up some empty holes, be like it's factory.
Yeah. You know, Heath has a 336 30-30, and he put a different forearm on it and a skeleton butt on it. I mean, it looks like a zombie killer is what it looks like.
Yeah.
But he's an optic guy. He's also a firearms instructor and stuff for his department over in Christiansburg. So I just can't do that to an old time rifle. I want to keep it. I want to keep it as close to original. And if Matthew Quigley can shoot with a peep sight, then I can too. And the M16, it's not something that I'm not familiar with. You know, we qualified with rear peep on an M16 platform in the Marine Corps with no problem. So I feel real comfortable with going that route.
Right. It's an oldie, but it's tried and true. It's tested.
Yeah.
Field tested, and
right.
It is what it is. You know, we're not messing with perfection. We're just giving it a little upgrade for the operator.
That's right. That's right. I need all the upgrades I can get. So once we drift this out, we'll have this sight here, and we're going to pull this lever out. Joe's going to pull this lever out. And there's a few things we have to do here, like there's a plunger on the backside, a tension plunger that keeps your lever in place and in battery, and we'll have to do some of that switching over. We're not going to do it step by step. We're going to kind of go through the process and bring you in while we're doing it. So let's get to it.
Let's go.
Let's get that. So we got a method here, Joe, and you wanted to do this in a certain order. What are we going to do first?
We're going to drive out your old sight.
Okay.
I won't do any of the punching or hitting on the gun before we put any of the new stuff on it.
I got you.
Brass punch, hammer with a rubber mallet end or a brass end, doesn't matter. This one probably shouldn't give us any problems coming out. It's pretty well taken care of firearm, but we'll give her a go here and see what she does. Oh yeah.
Is it already out?
Just like that. And if you didn't know, you had your windage and your up and down all with that back sight.
Mm-hmm.
That front sight's just for lining up your sight picture.
Right.
Next thing we're going to do, we're going to remove the old lever. Looks like it's just one set screw in here. And like any gun, when you're breaking them down, they've got their own combination. So we're going to have to figure out where that is. I believe on these, the bolt's got to be halfway through the loading chamber here to pull this out, but we might have to do a little tweaking on it to get it to come out. On any gun, you know, just take it easy, take your time. You don't know, especially on these old guns, you're gonna go putting a lot of torque on a little hex head nut, any kind of nut, and just break it off in there, and then you'll need just like that.
That's all there was to it.
That's all there was to it. And then this has got a little detent in the spring holding the plunger in here. I strongly, only warning I'm going to give you on this modification is cover this up. You go taking any detents and springs out, they're going to shoot everywhere.
All right.
A little bit before you record, I want to see what kind of pressure it's going to give us.
Yeah, I'm recording B-roll right now. Don't be losing my springs.
Yeah, because I don't
What
know.
is that, a punch block?
Yep, that's my when you forget your punch block at work. You get a roll of duct tape, masking tape. Work with what you got. coming. Especially on this little intricate work like this, you just take your time and
So you take your thumb and cover that
hold
plunger
your thumb over the plunger, pull your little pin out, pull your punch out, and then there we go. Just like that.
That came out with a spring on it.
Yep. We got lucky on that one.
Cool.
Got lucky. If you see here, I don't know if you can zoom in on that and see the shelf. When you reapply this, you want to give it enough tension pushing in. That's what holds it back with the pin.
Okay.
So, when you got big gorilla fingers like me, this is the...
You got like sausage fingers.
Yeah.
Here's sausage links.
So you got the pin in there.
Oh, it's already started?
Yep.
Cool.
Then you just apply the pressure to your... Give it a tap in there. And there she goes. She's set. Ready to go. And always just put a little drop of oil in there, just because it's brand new and fresh.
Mm-hmm. Did you put a drop of oil in that one?
No, not yet. I like to get the moving part in there first and just put a drop of oil on the top, then actually go through the function to get it spread in there.
I thought you were trying to cheat me.
No, I wouldn't do that. You're my neighbor. Okay. Can you shine down in there? I ain't got a light on me. You recording?
Yep.
Oil is your friend on these old things.
Well, we found some burrs inside that fitting right there. So we need to touch that up. I think that'll make it run a little bit smoother. Can't hurt it. All right, so what are we looking at here?
We're gonna drop this new lever in here as soon as we find the spot. All right, we got her in there.
So what we run into there?
We didn't think it was gonna fit at first. We didn't have remember I said the combinations earlier?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the bolt rid forward enough to clear the trigger with the new lever.
Okay.
So we're ready to
So far everything's working.
Yep. All right, so all we gotta do is put that screw back down in there, which we already did. Give her tight there. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. Still not prepared. If you don't have one, I suggest you get one if you're going to do any kind of upgrades to your guns, working on optics, replacing whatever, a torque screwdriver.
So what do you recommend on?
This one we're going to go about 15 inch-pounds. Just like that. Not too much torque on there, just enough. And
It works.
that phase is done.
All right.
All right, the final phase of this upgrade project here is the upgraded sight assembly. Should be set in place just like that. Everything's pre-drilled from the factory. And again, your best friend, your torque screwdriver here. Two little screws. I like to go ahead and drop them in. That way we won't lose them. Again, this is set to 15 inch-pounds. I don't torque them down all the way. I get them both set, kind of like changing a tire. You don't go all the way around the circle. You just... Sorry. All right.
It's a camera, man. It's not you.
Now we got everything in there and in place. I'm going to give it a quick look down the barrel, make sure everything is lined up here real quick. Money.
So no need for Loctite or anything like that on this stuff too?
No, the most of these assemblies, when you buy them, they come with them. They're pre-dipped already. I checked that before I put them in there. But I mean, you can be overly cautious and put a dab on there, but that should be just good for it.
All right.
But I think that's done. Stress enough your work environment, your bench. Try to keep it clean and organized and have the proper equipment.
All right, so we got everything put back together. We've got the rear sight replaced with the peep sight. We drifted out this sight and we put the new lever on it. We were going to plug this hole, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Good thing you reminded me.
We'll take care of that off camera. It's not crucial to what we're doing. They do make plugs for right here, and I may do that just to fill that gap in. They're not hard to make either. But what else were you talking about here, Joe?
Since this had the original sight on it from the factory, from manufacture date, I'm gonna brush that up with a brush a little bit and just throw a dab of oil in there, make sure it's clean, because it's the first time it's exposed to anything.
Yep.
Other than that, it was a quick little project. I think it took longer to get the work area ready to get it done, but
I think it probably took longer to make, it'll take far longer to edit everything and do this video and different things than what it did. And the reason I went with the Ranger Point Precision was, one, it's got a unique clover leaf rear aperture on there, and that's good for my eyes for the peep sight. And then it's also got windage left and right and elevation up and down. It's all built right into the sight. So, and they had the oversized loop.
yep.
It's a good company, and we don't have a link for you. Just look for them on Google. If they want to sponsor us, we'll put a link on there for them. But yeah, that's why I went with what I went with. I appreciate it, Joe.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Well, guys, that's going to conclude the rebuild or the modifications on the Marlin 336 3030. And make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button down below and keep following us. We do stuff like this all the time, and we enjoy sharing it with you.